Hey everybody, good afternoon. It's 3:42 p.m. Mountain Time on March 25th. It is Thursday. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. It has not been pretty today. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about some updates on some news articles. We're going to talk about a few altcoins. We're going to keep it short and quick, keep you posted on where we're at. But first, if you could hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Really close to hitting my first goal of 100 subscribers. So hopefully that means that I'm putting content out there that is helpful towards people. So we're going to get right into Bitcoin, and we're going to start with the GBTC, right? So the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is dropping, and it is really off from where the price of Bitcoin is at. Essentially, GBTC closed at $44.50 today, and that essentially means that it's trading at $44,500 per Bitcoin. A couple thoughts on this are just that, number one, you have $6 billion in futures closing tomorrow on Bitcoin. So $6 billion, I hope I said $6 billion. That's the most it's ever been. And then there's also something that used to happen is BlockFi used to deposit Bitcoin into the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and what they would do then is, since it was at a higher premium, people were paying more for the GBTC shares, they would sell that into retail. So they would arbitrage their price and dump, I think it was like as high as like 40% in gains. Now that it's negative, they're not able to do that. So they've adjusted their rates, and their percentage, their interest rates are worse than they have been before. So another thing was when people initially entered into depositing Bitcoin, GBTC, they were guaranteed a 6% return. So possible thought is that on the 6% return, they're maybe having to sell shares in order to pay that 6% return to Bitcoin depositors. So just a couple thoughts. I haven't been able to really dig up any news on that, but just from paying attention from back in the day, just some thoughts on that. To move into some actual articles, Grayscale's Sonnenschein addresses GBTC's collapsing premium. I know they're waiting on the ETF. It's kind of like a wait and see. Said in January, U.S. regulators still aren't ready to approve a Bitcoin ETF. I'm kind of a little more on the other side of that in my belief, but I could be a little biased on that. Bitcoin ETF would likely oust Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust product from its dominant position, so that could be another reason why people are selling off. Maybe retail is selling off, maybe institutions are selling off shares in order to prepare to buy into the ETF. I don't know, just a thought. Rebuffing assertions that an armada of recent Bitcoin fund products could challenge GBTC with more competitive fee structures. Sonnenschein said that Trust's 2% annual fee would remain. He notched Grayscale's collapsing premium to the forces of supply and demand. There have been so many shares created that has put some selling pressure on the stock, but ultimately do not foresee this as a product issue. So I think it's just getting a little more competitive, and there's some articles on that as well. So Bitcoin ETFs, Fidelity to launch Bitcoin ETF as investment giant builds its digital asset business. Just a couple of the key points. You could read through this if you want on CNBC. Fidelity Investments is preparing to launch its own Bitcoin fund as the investment giant works to cement its clout in the market for digital assets. You could read that. The headline pretty much says it all. Another one that's launching Bitcoin-related securities is Goldman Sachs files for a Bitcoin ETF with the SEC. This is a little misleading because it's not actually an ETF. It's actually an innovation ETF. So it would include market disrupting or disruptive innovation while stating that it could offer exposure to Bitcoin. So a little misleading, but still related to Bitcoin. And then, those three. So those were the big three that I wanted to touch on. And, where we're at with Bitcoin now hasn't been really pretty. It hasn't been. I mean, we've broken through a couple trend lines. The nice thing recently is that we held support at $50,305 on Coinbase. Does that mean that's going to hold? No, because we're still looking bad. I mean, look at the RSI broke down, MACD still coming down. Not super confident that this is where we hold at. There hasn't been like a big sell-off and capitulation yet. Not that that needs to happen. I mean, if you have been watching the videos, pretty much in every video since we've been coming up to this point of the new all-time high, I've said that we can come down to this $50,000 level, right around $50,000, and still be fine. So we're still fine. Where do we start to not be fine? Where we start to not be fine is when we break this previous low. All right, I don't have a support line entered in there, but this previous low of 43,016, is it likely to happen? I don't think it's likely. Could it happen? Yeah, I think more likely to happen would be around 47,000, 47,500 if this support breaks. I mean, it could be pretty likely that we hold this 50,000 area. I probably 50-50 expect it to, but the reason why I don't is, number one, the indicators, right? We'd have to show some sort of strong recovery. Number two is that Bitcoin, and I'll give another altcoin example of people selling, of the cryptocurrencies getting sold off into really bullish news, right? So we have Elon Musk yesterday said that Tesla now accepts Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin that the Tesla is bought with, they don't plan on selling. They plan on keeping it, just holding on to it, holding on for dear life, which is what Bitcoin is doing right now. Kind of. We're at 52,000, so let's not be too dramatic. But that's pretty bullish, and the price shot up about, I want to say like $3,000 after that. He tweeted it also. So that's exciting, and then it sold off. You could see this candle the day before that we opened at 54,333, and we shot up to a high of 57,209, so 2,800. And then we closed below where we opened at. I mean, after that good news, that doesn't give me a lot of confidence. So the thing that gives me confidence is that we're at 52,000 still. We're not at 20,000. That we have catalysts in line with the ETF and with the Coinbase IPO that has been delayed. But I think that I'd rather see this than have us go parabolic up to 100,000 within a matter of a week, because then I think it'd just be completely over. And I'd rather see this last. The other example I wanted to give is on Uniswap, and Uniswap, kind of a sloppy chart, just because like the support and the resistance isn't incredibly clear. I'm gonna actually draw another horizontal ray here just to show that resistance that's turned into support. That would be one of the next levels down, and then another one right here. Should we break the current level that we're at? Right, should we break this level at $25.56? Should we break that? You'll watch those two next. Slobby, it was threatening breakout day after day after day after day. It was threatening breakout, and then it had the news of their version 3, Uniswap, which is supposed to help with some of the fees, and among some other things. I didn't read too much into it. I was too focused on the price tanking after that. What is kind of something worthwhile to notice is that it did show strength, and it did show strength while Bitcoin wasn't really showing strength for the few days before it, and it looked like somebody knew what was coming. Maybe there was some talks about the release of that, and then as soon as it took off, it sold off. So there was somebody who was planning on selling the news. Could be insiders, could be developers, could be just retail, just being really smart. So you could see like we definitely broke down, and we did not hold this support level, and we double bottomed here. So that could be a good sign. I would want to see it close. I would want to see it close. I'd actually want to see it close above this low right here, above 27.9781. Could it happen? Yeah, we only have about 2 hours and 10 minutes, and usually a few hours before the Bitcoin daily candle, things start to slowly fade and sell off. It's been that way pretty much every day. until a few hours after the daily candle. And you see a little bit recovery, or in some cases, a further drop. Anyways, I'm going to close out of that. I don't want to get too much into Uniswap. And then I just wanted to touch on another popular one. Polkadot was, threatening breakout, not quite as hard as Uniswap was, and it did break that a couple times and then sold off. So tough because that's one of the buy indicators is when it does break out like that, you buy, and you just got to watch for retest and pullback that you're willing to be smart enough to sell when it comes back down into that range. So I haven't really been trading much. Just kind of holding my core positions still, and you could see that we actually broke down out of the trend line. So we did hold a little above the bottom, the low of yesterday. So that's encouraging, and doesn't necessarily need to close. I mean, I was wanting it to close above this line right here. It looks like it might. Pretty much above the 29.7 would be really nice if it closed above there. I'd be really happy with that. So showing a little bit of hope, not that should be what makes your decisions, but just watch those areas. And let's see, Ethereum, last altcoin I want to go over. Ethereum's been looking pretty weak actually, and the 4 hour you could see it more clearly. This head and shoulders pattern, you got left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and it broke down out of that. Again, so showing the same pattern as a Uniswap and Polkadot, is it had this double bottom here. So it looks like we could see at least a short-term reversal. I mean, this is only over 2 days. So if we went into Saturday and it reached this resistance area of about 1729, I would probably take profits there. Or at the high of yesterday's candle, which was 1740.91, at least for the short term. I'm just talking about like if you're entering any trades. Again, some sloppy supports and resistances. This is the line I would really want to see hold should we come down there. You could see that we had some resistance here. We broke it and got rejected, got rejected, finally broke out from it. And then we had some support come in at the same area, especially right here on March 5th. So that's really the line I would want to see hold, and that is right about 1440. Do we come down to there? I don't think so, but I mean that's the spot I would want to see hold should we come down there. Similar things, MACD still coming into the negative. RSI having a little bounce here, maybe some bullish divergence. That could be some pretty encouraging stuff, but it's just not very much. It's just not very much. So anyways, on to Bitcoin. Bitcoin controls all. I mean, Bitcoin is what leads the market. And I would want to see Bitcoin close above this previous, not high, but this previous top, 52,666 on Coinbase. 52,666. We're pretty close. I would like to see it close above that. That would be really encouraging to me. That's kind of a big point. You see, we got rejected here, we got rejected here, then we had a little bit of support here, a little higher right here, and a little higher right here. So pretty encouraging if we close over that, especially since we broke one trend line here, then we broke a longer term trend line here, and then we're looking at this longer term trend line, which right now sits around 43,000 if we break that. So encouraging, even though it's been pretty painful, to watch. I mean, not super painful. I mean, it's not we had 50% drops in the 2017 run, which I'm sure you'll see if it becomes more volatile again. But with Bitcoin moving sideways, hoping that gives way to the altcoin market. Unfortunately, altcoin market has been dropping also. So not super pretty here. Same kind of look on the MACD, same on the RSI, same kind of fall off right here. We actually dropped below yesterday's low. So that's not super encouraging. Where would I want to see it get to gain some confidence again? Is I would want to see it close above today's high, which is right. You could see earlier too from back in February that we threatened to break above it and got shut down, multiple times. And, that's where we kind of hit today, that resistance of high of $646.288 billion market cap. So that's where I would want to see that get to. And I would want to see that happen without Bitcoin going up, to new all-time highs, because, we're kind of showing lower high, hopefully, probably a lower high. We haven't really tested yet, but it just kind of seems like it's getting weaker and weaker as far as the dominance goes. The RSI did break down a little bit and then it recovered. So I'm hoping for an altcoin season. It's just been kind of ugly. DOT dropped 30%. So not good for altcoins. Want to just really quickly touch on a few altcoins since I haven't talked about them quite a bit. Superfarm got listed on Binance, and as soon as it did, it tanked. That seems to be the trend nowadays, just like Cardano once it started trading on let's see. So yeah, this was where it got started trading on Coinbase, right? That should have been about 1:30. So I'm not sure exactly what time it traded. That's my guess, is because like all day after it started, it came down as low as, what price is that? I switched over to CoinMarketCap, by the way, because CoinGecko just doesn't do a good job of updating, and they're not fast enough with listing new coins, which brings me to the next one that I'll get into in a second. But it came down just a hair below $2 after seeing a high of $3.45. Been recovering. I mean, I'm just holding this. I'm really hopeful. The thing that gives me hope with Superfarm is that it was like a month ago that it listed, that it even started trading, and it's already on Binance. That's super encouraging to me. A lot of coins, it takes a long time. So I was like, wow, they got on there quick, so they must be on top of things. They're pretty serious. I think I'd love to see the website get moving a little bit. So still speculative, as this whole industry is speculative. So, and just be aware, you could lose all your money in crypto. So not a financial advisor. Only invest what you could afford to lose, and do your own research. I'm just a trader. Let's go into that next one. Is they had a new launch. It was YFDAI's first launch. Impulse Ven. It started off really good, and it actually went up to like $3.60 before CoinMarketCap started following it, and it's just been tanking ever since. So not too great. But it's their first launch, so they have another one coming out soon that's called DFit. It's a fitness app, crypto project, and I'm pretty sure I'll get on the pre-sale of that, but so far the pre-sale has not been going very well for me. But not that I have a lot in here, I just have whatever I put in on the pre-sale. YFDAI, it's been in this low 5,000 area, kind of, I wouldn't say disappointing. It's just a slow churn upwards, and it did come down. This isn't right. It didn't come down to $4,022. It came down to like $4,950, and this whole thing was goofy. It actually was showing like 14,000 one day, but they do plan on getting listed on other exchanges, and it's nice to see progress with them launching right their first project, Impulse Ven, and then they have DFit, and they have SafeSwap governance token. Guardian token. So still very nice, still earning my 72% APY, so 0.2% a day and 6% a month. So, as long as it doesn't crash, which, eventually everything will, I have no doubt in my mind. The question is how high will it go before it does? Then I'm pretty happy. So talked about those, talked about Polkadot, talked about Ethereum, talked about Superfarm. Last one I want to talk about is Filecoin, just because this one has just been, it's just seemed like it's been really strong, whether Bitcoin is up or down. And I know I said it acts independently of it, but look at how far it's separating itself, right? The separation in the price from the price of Bitcoin, it's US dollar price compared to its Bitcoin price. So it's retesting all-time highs again. I think it just hit like 96 or 97, and then it pulled back down into the high 80s. But really, really strong performance, and it's just been doing really good. It's up to rank number 19, and yeah, one of the few greens on today. So again, just be smart out there. There are reasons. I didn't go over Anchor. Anchor also got listed on Binance and held its gains. So pretty nice. So very few greens. We're looking at maybe 20. So I feel like we'll at least have a dead cat bounce, if not a reversal, sometime soon. Maybe after tomorrow, maybe starting now, since prices may be factored in. So we're looking at that, and I'm just watching my support levels. That's all. I think that it's still healthy, as hard as it is to constantly see the slow fade. The slow fades are the hardest because you don't see the big drop, so everything seems all right, and then after 10 days you're like, wow, it's down 10% or it's down 15%. So those are the hardest, just to sit there and watch them slowly fade. So yeah, well, we know what we're watching. We know what to look out for if we have another break. It looks like normally it's starting to sell off by now, right? So into the new candle, I feel like every day it's like 3 o'clock Mountain Time starts to sell off, maybe a little earlier, and then the new candle really sells off, and it's just like, that's where I'm not entering any trades right now, but that's where I would usually just buy and then sell before I go to bed, and it was working pretty well. So yeah, again, subscribe, helps me out trying to get to that 100, so then you can see Matt the Trader in that URL on my YouTube page. Can't do that until I get 100 subscribers, so appreciate it. Definitely very thankful for those that do. And yeah, let's watch this into the weekend. In tomorrow, just a reminder to watch where the Bitcoin futures close at, and then watch to see if it creates any gap over the weekend. I may or may not be doing a video on Saturday, so I don't know, Saturday or Sunday. Maybe I'll try to this weekend, but that's what I'm watching for. That's kind of the things I'm focused on. New projects coming out on Polkastarter, I'm always watching those. And then just before we sign off, I want to mention this Eternity chain, which has just been a monster. It was up like 50 times from the pre-sale price when it started trading, and that was at like $3 or $4, and it went up over 50. And yeah, just another one to watch. It's already ranked number 249, so it's another one to watch, kind of out of sequence and organization of the video, but just one that popped into my head that I wanted to mention. That's just been doing amazing things when it comes to price production. So anyways, that's all for one more thing I thought was kind of cool is I claimed my Pokemon egg, right? We'll see if they get any lawsuits for that name being too close to Pokemon, but I claimed my Pokemon egg. So it's just kind of a fun thing, I guess, kind of goofy, is they'll have 100 Polkastarter baby dragons allocated to the Pulse Pool. So if you're holding Polkastarter, while the community pool, meaning those who don't hold Polkastarter, will be allocated 80 silver baby dragon NFTs. So they look like that, like silver and the Polkastarter baby dragon. So I'm sure if you could sell them immediately if you want to, since they're the first ones coming out. Maybe, I don't know, it's still a risk. Like, who knows if Pokemon will even be around in 5 years. So I don't know. Not a high likelihood of getting one, since it's only 180 total, 100 for Polkastarter holders and 80 for Polkastarter holders and everybody else. So 180, there's probably at least 100,000 people, if not a million, I would bet, doing this. But seems like it'll be interesting. And then if you get it, you can get in on the public sale, which happens before it starts trading. There's the pre-sale, the public sale, and then the listing of up to $500 allocation. So that's kind of cool. So watch out for sometime after 4 p.m. Central Time on March 29th. And you can join their Twitter. It's just at Pokemon.org. So pretty interesting. Last thing I wanted to touch on. So I'll be watching that, and I think it'll be just something kind of fun. Be cool to get one since I haven't gotten an NBA Top Shots pack yet, and I'm willing to pay for those. So have a great weekend. Be smart. Don't be overly. I think this is the time just to be patient. I think I've mentioned that a time or two before. Let everything really show a bottom and a reversal, and another strong move to the upside before you get overconfident. Don't try. I wouldn't call it a falling knife right now. I'd call it more of a fade. But don't just be guessing. Use your levels and be smart. It's worked for me, so I don't know why it wouldn't work for you. And just don't be greedy. So, yeah, have a great weekend, and we will see you later.